In this list, we're counting down the top 10 most exciting Switch, 2 games you won't want to miss. We're talking long-awaited sequels, jaw-dropping new worlds, and the kind of experiences that will make you want to pick up the console on day one. Whether you're into epic RPGs, nostalgic throwbacks, or just want the next big multiplayer obsession with friends, this list has you covered. Spine is a single-player cinematic action game set in a dystopian cyberpunk world where you control Redline, a street artist enhanced by a sentient spinal implant, as she executes stylized gun-fu combat and parkour-inspired moves across 20 missions, all underpinned by a movie-like presentation and inspired by John Wick and John Woo. Plus, it offers a hardcore no-hit challenge and expands into comics, merch, and media adaptations. The game's combat system is a high-octane fusion of cinematic gun-fu and beat-em-up melee, featuring fluid combos, weapon grabs, acrobatics, and parkour that make each fight feel like a stylized action sequence.
I never asked for this.
The story dives into Bond's early days in MI6, showing how he transitions from a skilled naval airman into the legendary 007 we all know, complete with his quick thinking, moral dilemmas, and knack for surviving impossible situations. Think of it as a James Bond training montage, except instead of lifting weights, he's defusing bombs, interrogating baddies, and occasionally driving vehicles like someone who never quite learned how to use brakes properly. Gameplay mixes stealth, gadgets, hand-to-hand combat, and high-speed chases, giving you the freedom to approach each mission however you like. Want to be sneaky and elegant? Go ahead. Prefer to be the kind of spy who leaves a trail of chaos behind? That works too.
Tell me, what do you do, James?
Lately, headhunting.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land is the game where the adorable pink puffball we all love goes on a big adventure and somehow ends up in a post-apocalyptic world that looks like your city after a toddler's sugar rush. Kirby sucks, slurps, and swallows his way through mysterious lands, gaining powers from enemies, solving puzzles, and occasionally turning into things you never imagined a small pink blob could become. The game mixes cute platforming, clever puzzles, and quirky combat, all wrapped in a bright, colorful, and slightly surreal world. It's like someone said, what if a candy-colored marshmallow explored abandoned cities and turned into a car sometimes? And the answer is yes, and it's amazing.
Newly added foes will also try to slow you down. Break crystals scattered throughout stages to discover new paths.
Terminator 2D No Fate is the game where classic 90s action meets modern pixel-perfect chaos, and yes, you get to feel like the hero while dodging endless bullets, lasers, and evil robots that really should have taken an anger management course. In this retro-inspired 2D side-scroller, you jump, run, shoot, and occasionally swear at the screen as Sarah Connor, John Connor, or the T-800, taking the fight directly to Skynet and its relentless army of T-1000s. Think of it as your childhood arcade memories, but with more robot limbs flying, more explosions, and way higher stakes. Because, the fate of humanity is involved. The gameplay is a glorious mashup of run-and-gun action, stealth, and vehicular chaos, letting you either sneak through levels like a slightly panicked ninja, or go full blow everything up mode, because sometimes subtlety is overrated. At Fate's End is the kind of game that asks you to grab your sword, brace your heart, and get ready for family drama on a scale that would make even Thanksgiving dinner look tame. You play as Shan, the youngest heiress of the Hemlock clan, who is suddenly thrust into a world of epic duels, deadly secrets, and sibling rivalry so intense it could power a small city. Armed with the legendary god sword Isis, Shan must confront her estranged siblings, battle monstrous creatures, and navigate a beautifully handcrafted fantasy world that's equal parts breathtaking and slightly terrifying. The gameplay blends fast-paced sword combat with tactical strategy, letting you slice, dodge, and counter in ways that feel both satisfying and cinematic. But it's not just about swinging swords. Every battle has emotional stakes. Horoscope isn't just another platformer. It's an indie adventure that feels like it has a heartbeat. At its core, it's about exploration, discovery, and remembering that even the smallest gadgets can help you face the biggest challenges. You play as Trace, a mechanical armed traveler, and Aurora, a fearless tinkerer with the kind of curiosity that would probably get her grounded if she were a kid today. Their job? To restore the fading islands of starlight using the mysterious device called the horoscope, which might as well be the Swiss Army knife of cosmic technology. This game is a 2D action-adventure collectathon platformer, but underneath all the pixel shine, it's about something very human, fixing what's broken and finding light in forgotten places. We've all had times when things felt like they were falling apart, right? Well, in Horoscope, the world itself is falling apart, literally. The land is crumbling, energy is fading, and you're the one with the courage and the gadget to pull it back together. Every once in a while, a game comes along that looks less like a video game and more like someone broke into an art gallery, stole a stack of origami, sprinkled it with dark fairy tale dust, and said, "Yeah, let's make this deadly." That's The Witch of Lulu Didia, Inti Creates, upcoming 2D action platformer where paper cuts aren't just annoying, they're fatal. You play as Shiroha, a young witch who wakes up with amnesia, because in video games, memory loss is basically the starter pack for being a hero. Her father, Shiori, has been cursed and literally turned into paper, like the world's saddest arts and crafts project. Determined to save him, Shiroha sets out with her enchanted katana, Kamikiri, which doesn't just cut enemies, it cuts through time, space, and sometimes the very stage itself. Persona 3 Reload is a full remake of the original Persona 3 from 2006, but this isn't just a simple polish. It's Atlus essentially saying, hey, what if we took one of the darkest, most beloved Persona stories, gave it modern graphics, smoothed the gameplay, and let fans cry all over again, but in HD. You play as a silent protagonist, a transfer student who is cooler than any of us ever were at 16, who discovers the ability to summon a persona, a manifestation of the soul, a kind of stylish alter ego that punches nightmares into dust. Of course, summoning it requires pointing a gun-shaped evoker at your head and pulling the trigger. Yeah, not subtle. Persona 3 doesn't sugarcoat the idea that power comes with sacrifice. During the day, you live out the slice of life side, attending school, joining clubs, building friendships, and most importantly, forming social links. If Final Fantasy VII Remake was the moment Square Enix said, hey, what if we didn't just retell the story but actually bent fate itself, then Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is where that gamble explodes into full bloom. Picking up after Cloud and friends escape Midgar, Rebirth is both familiar and completely unpredictable. It's like meeting an old friend you haven't seen in years, except now they're wearing different clothes, quoting philosophy, and casually revealing that time, memory, and destiny are all up for debate. At its heart, this is a story about Cloud Strife, the spiky-haired ex-Soldier, or so he says eyes, with a past that's foggier than your bathroom mirror. Alongside Tifa, Aerith, Barrett, Red 13, and more, you're traveling across a massive open-world reimagining of Gaia, chasing down the one-winged nightmare himself, Sephiroth. The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon isn't just another JRPG. It's the kind of game that feels like an old friend sitting you down and saying, all right, here's everything we've been through together, and here's where it all leads. Set in Zamoria, a continent that has grown with players over nearly 2 decades, this installment takes the story to its most ambitious point yet. Humanity preparing for its first steps into space. But like any good human story, it's never just about rockets, politics, or battles. It's about the people caught in between. Characters like Van Arkride, the pragmatic underground fixer, Rian Schwarzer, the ever-dutiful hero burdened with past scars, and Father Kevin Graham, a priest who knows both faith and darkness, come together in ways that feel less like game mechanics and more like lived relationships. They're not perfect superheroes, they're flawed, hopeful, stubbornly human.
You can bet we'll be feeling the fallout from that mess one way or another.